Hi friends, Squeak and I are here to tell you another story. We're reading a story about digging. The weather's supposed to be getting a little warmer, which means the earth might be warming up a little bit, so we could get digging. A Perfect Day for Digging by Carrie Best. What season does that look like? I think it looks like winter too. Do you usually dig in the winter? No. Now what season is it turning into? The snow is melting. The grass is starting to come in, but there aren't really too many leaves on the tree yet. Let's find out. In the spring, when trees unfreeze and grass grows green and pansies say, "Please plant me," Nell and Rusty can't wait to dig in the dirt, just right for digging. "Bye-bye, snow shovel," says Nell. "Hello, trowel." Oh, sorry there, Squeak, you fell over. Crunch, crumble, push, shove, earth, victory! Nell sings when she and Rusty finally break through the crusty ground. "I love the smell of fresh spring dirt," Nell says. "Don't you, Rusty?" Rusty does. In fact, he loves the smell of fresh spring dirt so much that he tries to eat it. Then Nell has to remind him, "Dirt is for digging, Rusty, not eating." Nell swirls the dirt around, making S's with her trowel. She chip-chops the clumpy lumpy dirt until it is silky smooth, and Rusty makes dirt angels. Then he jumps up and shakes her. "Hooray for getting dirty!" shouts Nell. "Woof!" barks Rusty. "I hate getting dirty," says Norman, swinging his new shoes back and forth. "That's too bad," says Nell, "because it's a perfect day for digging. And I have an extra trowel." "No thanks," says Norman. "I'd rather watch." Nell crouches down low, and Rusty crouches down low too. Sometimes Nell digs like a chipmunk and scratches out a little bit of a dirt at a time. And sometimes she's like a badger and a lot of dirt goes flying everywhere. And sometimes Nell closes her eyes and digs a tunnel like a mole. But Rusty always digs like a dog. He uses his front paws to make the hole deeper and his back paws to put the dirt back in. "Rusty!" scolds Nell, laughing. Norman laughs too, because he's not the one getting dirty. Nell shapes a round mountain out of the first pile of dirt. She decorates the mountain with pebbles and pieces of shells. Rusty leaps over and over Nell's mountain until his paws are the color of chocolate. "Oh," says Norman, taking his clean hands out of his clean pockets of his clean jeans to keep the dirt away. Nell has so much fun digging that she begins to dig another hole. But Rusty has other ideas. What has Rusty done? Taken her trowel. "That's not good, Rusty." "Come back here," calls Nell. "I'm gonna catch you." Clomp, clomp, clomp goes Nell's digging boots in the swampy spring mud. "Hey, stop splashing," shouts Norman. "Sorry," says Nell. "Good dog," she tells Rusty, because he's finally dropped the trowel. This time when they dig, Nell and Rusty pretend they are giant steam shovels, whirring and scooping and dumping a ton of dirt next to each hole. Then, "Look what I found," says Nell. "A pretty striped marble, 3 acorns, the mini stegosaurus I lost last summer, and 1 fat, juicy worm. Cool." "Gross," says Norman, but he inches closer to watch the worm wiggle and to see what Nell decides to do with all the other treasures. "We could put them in a dirt museum," Nell announces. "Cool," says Norman. "We'll build it with stones you dug up. I won't even have to get dirty." Nell makes sure to give the worm plenty of dirt to wiggle in. Rusty wants to bite the worm, but Nell says, "Worms are not for biting, Rusty. Mom says they make the garden better for growing things like potatoes and tomatoes." "And flowers," says Norman. Rusty thumps to the ground. He's pooped. But now Norman wants to see what else is buried in the garden. So Norman brings Rusty a bowl of fresh water. That does the trick. "I still need your help, partner," Nell tells Rusty. When Nell and Rusty are digging their 5th hole, 5 holes, Nell discovers something. "Hey, Norman," she calls. "It's a tiny China doll arm." "Wow," says Norman. He carefully brushes off the dirt with his clean hanky. "I wonder who played with it, and if there's more." "There's only one way to find out," says Nell, "but I'm all dug out. So..." Norman rolls up his clean sleeves. He rolls up the bottom of his clean jeans. He picks up the extra trowel. And Norman starts to dig. Not like a chipmunk, and not like a badger, not like a mole, and definitely not like a dog. Norman digs like a bird, pecking away slowly and carefully. "If there's another treasure, I wouldn't want to break it," Norman says. Then, just like an archaeologist, he separates the soil with the tip of his trowel, delicately spooning out a little dirt at a time until... "Victory!" shouts Norman. "Could this be the tiny china leg that goes with the tiny china arm that you found?" "It is," said Nell. "Good work, Norman. But guess what?" "What?" asked Norman. "You're all dirty," says Nell. "You're right," said Norman, looking down. "Well, guess what?" "What?" asked Nell. "I like to dig," says Norman. "And from now on, my new shoes will be my digging shoes." "What about the garden?" asked Nell. "It's a mess." "I know," said Norman. "We could fill in the holes like this." "And," says Nell, "we can plant these pansies like this. Hooray for digging!" "You mean hooray for dirty digging," shouts Norman. "When can we dig again?" Woof, 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 woof. Uh-oh, did Rusty find something else? Can you see all the pieces to the china doll they found? Maybe you guys can go out and go digging. Is it warm enough to do that? Have fun. Get dirty.